What's up? So I'm here in New York, about to go out for the day, and I'm starving. It's only 10:30 in the morning, and something I realize about myself is if I don't feel calm, like if I go through it or I'm dealing with a lot of stuff, I can't drink tea. I can't eat breakfast and I can't drink tea. If I can drink tea, that means I'm calm, I'm relaxed. So right now it's like in between lunch and breakfast time. So I'm just gonna eat something because I need to eat something before I go out for the day. And I had some frozen meatballs from Trader Joe's. I just put them on a paper plate and threw them in the microwave. I know microwaves aren't the best, but it's just like, I just need to eat something before I get out because I know I'm not gonna eat for the rest of the day probably. Chicken meatballs from Trader Joe's are awesome. If you're gonna have like a frozen meatball, these are the best. There's no preservatives. They're the healthier version of a frozen meatball. And they're not in the frozen section at Trader Joe's. They are in with the prepared salads, which I bought them once and I'm like, I know I got them here. Like, where the heck are they? And then I found them again. So I got my burnt toast. Everyone's making fun of my burnt toast from my last video. But if you're sending me, friends of mine are sending me pictures of their toast and I'm laughing because I'm like, dude, that's white bread. That's not even toast. I need the crunch. I can't do the white bread. The texture is like, oh, I don't know. So I'm just gonna put actually I'll put it this way. I'm just going to put my chicken. I made a lot of meatballs. I don't think I'm gonna eat all these meatballs. Holy mackerel. So I put my chicken meatballs on there and all I have actually, today I remembered this I found up in the cabinet, cayenne pepper. I love cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper actually keeps I put a lot. I know it looks like a lot. It is a lot. I just have been eating it my whole life. It's good for your immune system. It's good. Actually, it's been said, I'm not a doctor, that if someone is like having a heart attack, of course you take an aspirin, call 911, but also a little cayenne can't hurt. And when I had my first son, I was 19 years old. So I gave birth so fast, like no epidural, all you moms out there, you could probably relate. I went to the doctor at 9:00 in the morning and I had my son at 11:07. No drugs, no epidural, no nothing, not a zip. I remember hearing all the stories like, oh, you're gonna be in labor for 3 days and da-da-da-da-da, and all these horror stories. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I put it in my mind that I'm in and out, and that's what I did. And my son was 8 pounds, 1 ounce, 21 and a half inches long, 6'3" now, probably about 220 pounds. And I gave birth so quickly that I hemorrhaged and they lost me. So I remember, it's like a really cool but creepy story. I remember when they came in the room and they're bringing all the machines and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was such a little kid and my whole family left because they were all like, oh, the baby's here. Da, 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 da. So they're just like off preparing for who's going to come to visitation to see us, the baby and me. And they left me. So the next thing I remember was being terrified because they're bringing in IVs. And I remember saying, they're calling in Valium and this and that. I'm like, I already have the baby. I don't want the drugs. I don't want the stuff. I was like so natural. I lived with my grandparents when I was pregnant with my first son. And I was probably the healthiest I've ever been in my life. And they were very health conscious. So they used to cook for me and all my vitamins and all special things, right, for the baby. It was wonderful. And I remember thinking, what are they doing? Like, what's going on? I was terrified. Then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, no joke, honest to God, I got this feeling of peace. It was like, it's all going to be okay. And grandma, my grandmother at the time, it was my son's great-grandmother. He actually had a great-great-grandmother when he was born. That's how young the generation, like we were all so close because my mother was so young with me. And I remember thinking, okay, grandma will take care of the baby because I knew I was leaving. I felt my body getting weaker and weaker. And I remember watching, you hear these stories, but I'm telling you, I experienced it. I remember watching everyone rustle around and they had the heart, clear, boom. And my body's jumping off the table. And then they stuck a needle in my heart. They stuck a needle in my hand. And I remember feeling the most wonderful, peaceful feeling ever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. But it was like, oh, everything's fine. Nothing mattered. And it was probably just my body collapsing, right? Like you kind of disassociate, I guess. I believe in God, so I have other theories, but you believe what you wish. And all of a sudden, it was like, nope, gotta go back. I'm like, no, nope, 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 nope. When I remember feeling my body again, it was like putting on a wet raincoat after a cold winter storm in the wind in a blizzard. And you're thrown outside like in a t-shirt and shorts, and you have to come back in the house, but they put a wet freezing raincoat on you to go back in. That's what it felt like when I felt my body again. And then I remember I was swollen for days, and the doctor came in. Actually, they lost me again after that, and she had to rush back to the hospital, and then they stabilized me. And I remember her saying, it was 1988, they didn't give me a blood transfusion because it was at the time when blood wasn't safe, you know, if you look back in the 80s and see what was going on medically. So they knew I was young and healthy. So all this to say, cayenne pepper was one of the things. I was living with my grandparents with my newborn son, and cayenne pepper, my grandfather would sit at the kitchen table and fill capsules, gelatin capsules full of cayenne pepper to build my immune system. I couldn't even hold my son. They had to bring him to me. I was so weak. I lost half the blood in my body with no transfusion. And I would eat raw spinach leaves, raw garlic, and cayenne pepper. And within a couple weeks, I was like good as new. So yeah, I've been eating cayenne pepper ever since. And yeah, so there you go. That's my little story about cayenne pepper. And I don't know, I go off on it's funny how things remind us of things, right? Like, whoa, that was something. So anyway, this is my sandwich today. Chicken meatballs from Trader Joe's, arugula, and some really toasted toast. So good. You gotta try it. Hope you all have a good day. And thanks for listening to my story.